Hello class, I'm Tom. I'm the Dean of Scissor Education here at the Scissors University. And today we're going to disassemble a scissor and show you how to clean it and get it back together and just learn a lot more about your tools, which makes haircutting go a lot more simply. On a scissor like this one here, this is called a ratchet or a click system. This one happens to have a spring plate. There's a bit of an arc on there. So if you go to loosen your scissor, you can push down on there to loosen the contact on that nut so it'll come off. As you disassemble your scissors so that you can inspect and clean them, always lay the pieces down in about the same order that you took them out, just so you can have a nice reminder. Now, when I took the nut off, hopefully you can see that there's little teeth on those. That comes in contact with this one tooth that's on this plate here. I do consider these type of tension systems to be some of the best ones when they click in the ratchet, like this one here with a nice strong spring plate. And so those teeth come in contact with that little bump there. And there is an arc on here. If this gets too flat, it can also interfere with your adjustment. So every now and again we do have to take a tool and put a bend back into these. Now as we take the scissor apart, you have a square hole here, and that will line up with the shape and the size of your screw here. As we tap this out, one of the things we need to notice, this has the round hole, and sometimes embedded in here will be the little washer that we're going to find on this one here on the screw. It's important to find this. If you can't find it, it means you won't be able to adjust your scissors. So the idea is sometimes they get embedded in here and they can have a little oil and grime on them, so you might have to look to see if it's in there. You can take any pointed type object, ink pen or something like that. And see here, you take that out, you know it's there. It allows you to be able to get in here, clean this area out as well. Once you have the scissors down, you can take your oil. Oil is a water displacement product. You don't need to use a lot of it, but I like to put enough on here so that I can really get the shine on the blade. And if there's any little bits of corrosion on there from letting your scissors sit with moisture on them, which is certainly not recommended, take a chamois. I like chamois because they can also remove any micro burrs that are on your blade. Polish the base where this little crescent shaped area is here called the ride. Put a little bit of pressure on there. Don't cut the cloth though. You cut the cloth, you know what's going to happen. You're going to cut yourself, so learn the pressure. You can really make scissors feel wonderful. And once again, making sure everything is nice and clean. I never like to put a scissor away with any hair on it or anything. I encourage that. I know you folks aren't all going to do that, but if you do it on a regular basis, you're going to be a lot happier with how your scissors perform. Clean scissors adjust well. And a little spot right there. There it is. It's gone. Looks good. Now, when you go to put it back together, remember to place your washer back on the screw. Goes in the round hole. Once you drop it into the hole, make sure it's seated in there nicely. Shouldn't be any little ridges or anything on it. And then right here, there's a square part just above the blade that will come in contact here. It's always best to take this, line it up a little bit. Just place it right on like this. Close your blades. Keep your finger underneath that screw so it doesn't drop out. If I move my finger, I do this naturally, but if I was to move my finger, that would just drop right out. Now just take this plate right here, place it on. Now there is a little hook here. I don't know if you can see that. And that helps hold this plate secure right here. Place the nut on. Now remember, put those teeth down so they can have contact with the little bump that's on this plate. Give surprised how many times I go into a salon and I hear someone say, my scissors won't hold tension, I can't figure out what's wrong, and they went through the process of cleaning the scissors, but they put this little tension knot on upside down, and when you do that, there's no contact of the teeth and it won't stay secure, and your scissors will keep loosening up on you. You'll think there's something wrong with it. Now I'm going to adjust this one here. This is a click or a ratchet system. The tension setting for this one here, I would hold the scissor up, and we have more detailed information on how this is done in another classroom for adjustment A on the tension settings. But 12 o'clock here, bring this blade straight across. Now normally I would have the tension nut facing me like this when I'm doing it for myself, but for the purposes of the class we're going to keep the nut facing you. And now what I would like to do, once the scissor is balanced at the 9 o'clock, I don't want it to stay here. I'm going to give it a little downward stroke, and I want it to drop from this 9 to a 10 o'clock position. And if it does, then I know the tension is going to be really good. So let's give it a little downward stroke. See that? It's not moving very easily. So I know the tension would be too tight and would have a tendency to probably want to pinch or pull here. So I'm going to change that. And let's see now, if I give it a little downward stroke, see how easily that dropped? Here it is, right there, at 10 o'clock. But what's nice about that, you have a visual aid here. It's right where the sharpness starts on both these blades. So when this scissor is closed down, that will cut here the entire length of that blade if you were doing that. The stress from here down to the point now is so perfect. This is what makes the tension nice. You don't have to put any thumb pressure on it. I know now with this scissor being this clean with great tension center, I'm good for the day. And I'm going to check the tension tomorrow, even though I cleaned the scissors really well today. But I'm going to put oil on them before I finish my work schedule tonight. And when I come back to work tomorrow morning, I'm going to go in and I'm going to check the tension, make sure it's perfect. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little lesson on how to get your scissors disassembled and put back together. Some basic tips on how to keep it clean. And I'm hoping that you'll enjoy doing this as much as I do. And we'll see you in the next class. Have a great day.